One of the problems with recruiting for investment banking is not the knowledge or skills you acquire, but the access to talk with real investment bankers to put your best foot forward. Our sponsor, WSO Academy, can provide those connections with 60 head mentors who are finance professionals at top firms like Goldman, Centerview, and JP Morgan. Imagine being able to get on the phone within 24 hours with one of the Academy's 1,300 mentors right before a critical interview. Get on the waitlist for WSO Academy today by clicking the link in the show notes or by visiting wallstreetoasis.com/academy. All right. Welcome to Investment Banking Insights. This is the only show dedicated to helping you learn both the technical and non-technical aspects of the investment banking process. Hi, my name is Alex Mason, and I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about the final prep before your internship actually begins. And this is something I want to share because right now I am knee-deep in prepping for that internship. Not in terms of preparing for interviews or anything like that, but once you get the offer, there's this span of time between when you get the offer and when you actually start working on the desk. So I'm really excited for this summer coming up. And as I mentioned in the last episode, I'm going to be going to Lincoln International in Chicago. So super thrilled about that. And just here's some tips for those of you who are also getting ready for the internship. So here's what you should expect. In terms of job logistics, there's a couple of things that you're going to need to do. Just like most jobs, you're going to need to do some basic background screening. So for example, you're going to need to do a drug test. Some firms will do just like your typical test. Some firms will actually require a hair sample. So just got that done a few days ago. So that was a little bit of a new experience for me. And then you'll also be needing to do your fingerprinting. So this is important because in the financial industry, there are some regulations that are monitored by governing bodies here in the United States. And so fingerprints are pretty important to be in the system. So you're going to need to go ahead and take care of that. You'll get instructions from your bank as far as exactly what to do and when. But not only myself, but all my friends have had to do this in the course of preparing for their internship this summer. You'll also probably need to fill out some information like your standard biographical information in terms of your social security number, your full legal name, all that kind of stuff that you would expect in a pre-employment application. You may need to fill out some additional paperwork too for your bank so they can submit your data to FINRA, which is one of the governing bodies that regulates investment banks, brokerages, asset managers, things like that. So you're going to need to do some paperwork and you're going to need to go to a couple of appointments to get those kinds of things done. Okay, once you've gotten that stuff out of the way, you also want to figure out your actual moving logistics. So for example, if you have an internship in New York City and you don't live in New York City, you're definitely going to need to figure out your housing, figure out where exactly you're going to live. If you can team up with another intern who's going to that same bank, maybe you and them can be roommates and kind of split costs. Because remember, the internship, it's a temporary experience. So you want to try to streamline your life as much as possible, especially if you're going to be in a new environment and you're not from New York City or you're not from wherever your bank job is going to be located. So that's what me and my family did, was figure out, okay, we're moving to Chicago. Where are we going to stay? What are the logistics going to look like? My plan for once we get there is actually do a test run of the commute to and from the office in order to understand, like, during that actual time of day when I'm going to be working there, what is traffic like? What kind of time do I need to leave in order to get to the office by the time that I need to get there, and even get up there a little bit earlier? So those kinds of things are small details, and I gave some similar guidance when I did the whole Super Day series prep several weeks ago. But this is really important because this is going to be your life for anywhere between 8 to 10 weeks in terms of your internship. So you want to test run those commutes as soon as possible so that you just feel comfortable with getting to and from the office. And also the final day comes and like the first day of your internship actually begins. You don't want to be worrying about like, oh, how do I get to the office? And oh no, I got stuck in traffic and now I'm late on my first day. Like you definitely don't want that. You want to make a great first impression. So go ahead and do that test run ahead of time. Some other things that you'll want to consider, and every bank has their own version of this, but what banks will do is they'll usually have you as the incoming intern do some kind of pre-internship training. So sometimes these are custom-made courses that they want you to complete. They may even have an exam component. Some of them are from third-party service providers like Wall Street Prep or Training the Street or one of those providers like Pillars of Wall Street, just doing the courses that they think are going to be important for you to know in terms of coming into your internship. Now, if you're coming out of undergrad or if you're coming out of an MBA program, of course you will have been preparing in your own way through certain classes, maybe certain finance or accounting classes that you've taken. But at the end of the day, the investment bank, they want to do things their way. So they're going to provide specific guidance for training that they want you to complete on top of whatever you've been doing in your schoolwork or in your spare time, like studying technicals, whatever. So go ahead and get that coursework done. I'm actually still working on that myself over this next maybe like 2 weeks or so. I'll be completing all of those things. But it can be a little tough, like fitting that in a busy schedule, especially if you're in school and you're dealing with final exams, things like that. But it's very important that you get that done so that when you hit the desk on the first day, the associates around you, your VPs, etc., they're going to be expecting that you already have that knowledge on day one. They want you to know certain things in terms of valuation or putting together a comparable list of companies or other things like what is a pitch deck or a pitch book. Those kinds of topics should be baseline knowledge for you by the time that you start your internship. So those are some things that you'll want to take care of before you start. So those are really the main things. First of all, your logistics in terms of actually getting hired. Like legally, the company has to do certain things in order to comply with the law. So make sure you get your drug tests, those kinds of paperwork done. Make sure you have your physical moving scenarios already mapped out and figured out. And then do a test run to and from the office before your first day. And then lastly, if you have any sort of pre-internship training or work that needs to be done, make sure you handle that as soon as possible so that you're ready for your first day on the internship. So that's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me here on Investment Banking Insights. I am actually moving very, very soon outside of my apartment here in Ithaca and just excited for the summer and looking forward to producing more episodes here for you soon. And we're going to be going into now a lot of technical material. So look for that on the next video. We're going to be getting right back to basics because I know a lot of you who are listening or watching now are new listeners and new viewers, and you are just getting going with this process. So we're going to take it back to basics, hit up the balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, all that stuff you know we love to do here on the show. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.